Hello everyone, welcome back to Python Simplified. This video will be about data types in Python. We will discuss on primitive data types and non-primitive data types which are present in Python. So let us begin. So first of all, what is a data type? A data type of a variable determines that what kind of operations can we perform on them. So those of you who are already aware with the with some other programming language might be knowing the concept of data type. For the beginners, data type just lets you know the type of data stored in a variable and operations that can be performed on it. In Python, a variable can change its data type depending on the value which is assigned to it. We already know that concept that is known as dynamic typing. So Python is a dynamically typed language where the data type of a variable is not fixed. It will always depend on the value which that variable is holding currently. Moving on, let us see the categories of data types. So there are two kinds of data types, both are which are further divided into various subtypes. First one are the primitive data types and the second one are the non-primitive data types. Primitive data types are predefined by the language, and non-primitive data types are the derived data types which could be derived from other primitive or non-primitive data types. So this is the basic classification which could apply to every language. So we will see further what all things come under primitive and what comes under non-primitive data type. Okay, so primitive data types in Python are integer, string, boolean and float, and non-primitive data types in Python are list, tuples, set, dictionary and files. So Python is moreover more popular because of these non-primitive data types. Python provides a built-in support for all these non-primitive data types, which if you are perform like working with some other languages like C++ or Java, you will require to create them on your own. So that is why Python has ready support available to create the variables of these types. That is why Python is very popular and simple. Now let's move on and see, like discuss them in brief. First of all, primitive types. First one is integer. Integer is a no is a numeric data, like whole number kind of data that can be stored in integers. Like examples could be 25, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anything which is not having a decimal point. Next is float. Float means which is having a decimal point. So you could store the data with decimal points like 23.45 and some other numbers involving decimal points. Next are the strings. String is basically collection of alphabets or some alphanumeric characters. String should be like enclosed within double quotes or single quotes. So this is a string. Next is boolean. So boolean is a special data type which was introduced in like since Java, and this could store the values, only two values that this can store, true or false. So you can call true as 1 and false as 0. So these are the primitive data types. There is a complex data type also in Python, but that is kept under integers category. So that is a derived kind of data type. Next, let us see in brief about non-primitive data types in Python. First one is a list. List is a collection of elements and it is similar to arrays which you might have seen in some other languages, but here you can collect different kinds of elements. Like it is not necessary to have a collection of similar elements, and the main property of a list is that they are indexed. Next are tuples. So tuples are similar to list, but they are immutable. That means you cannot change a tuple once you have created it. Next are dictionary. Dictionary is a simple like is used for hashing kind of thing. So it has collection of elements in form of key value pair. So here key value pair is important. Next one are sets. Sets are basically required for some statistical or set related operations. They are the collection of unique elements. So they could also contain elements similar to list or tuples, but they will have unique elements. The elements cannot repeat. Next one are the files. So file is just a name location on a disk which is having something stored in it. So Python will support file handling functions through its data type, which is files, through which you can open a file present on your storage device and you can access the contents of that file. Okay, so that is all for this video. Next video we will see about operators in Python. Thank you very much for watching.